I'm exploring the weirdest tide pools, like this secret man-made pool, a tide pool hidden inside a gift shop, and oh my gosh, what is this thing? Is this poisonous? I probably shouldn't have touched that. I've always been fascinated by tide pools. These tiny pools of water filled with thousands of alien-like sea creatures. And sometimes these pools exist in the weirdest places. Like my first location, which is a tide pool with a literal tower coming out of it. It's called Pirate Tower. It's 60 feet high and was built 100 years ago in the 1920s by a guy named William Brown, who paid someone to literally carve it out of the cliffs. People spend their money on the weirdest things. There's rumors that there's treasure buried in the tower, but I doubt there's anything. Wait, is there a door back here? The treasure must be here. I'm gonna be so rich. I'm gonna build so many cliff towers. Oh, it's locked. William, are you up there? There's gotta be treasure around here somewhere. William? So I didn't find any treasure, but I did find this. I think it's like for hermit crabs or something. And for some reason it has this strap. I think this is like a hermit crab purse or something. I'm gonna throw the weird crab purse in my backpack. I'm sure it'll come in handy later. I explored the tide pools for a bit and found this super creepy alien slug. Then got ready for my next location, because for the next 6 days, I'm gonna explore 6 weird looking tide pools, all leading up to a natural phenomenon called King's Tide, which only happens 1 time per year. Oh crap. During King's Tide, the water level will rise and drop almost 10 feet in just 6 hours. Something to do with like the sun and moon, I think. I have no idea how this stuff works. But King's Tide is literally insane. My next location is Palos Verdes. Apparently at the bottom of these cliffs is a shipwreck with a tide pool. So I'm gonna try to find my way down and hopefully I don't fall. I made my way down the cliff and it was exhilarating. I'm terrified of heights, so this is kind of a nightmare for me. Okay, fine. It wasn't that fun. After this video, I think I'm just gonna stick to the tide pools at the aquarium. Wow, I complain a lot on these trips. Let's just skip ahead. I made it. Now I just have to go find this, a little more. The shipwreck. I found it. There we go. In the early 1960s, a huge ship called the SS Dominator crashed onto this beach. And 60 years later, they still haven't cleaned this junk up. Let's see if we can identify what parts of the ship these things are from. This part right here is part of the bow of the ship. This is the nose of the ship. These are support beams. These down here are the treads, and then up there, that's the engine. This is the spindle. This is the cabin roof liner. This is the kitchen. This right here is the grinder. If you haven't noticed, I don't know anything about boats, and I made all that up. I'm pretty sure this is just a rock. Let's go look at tide pools. The tide pools here are really cool. Some sea creatures were even living inside the shipwreck, which was crazy. I also found these massive starfish. These things were huge. It felt like a rock, but I am 65% sure it is not a rock. Is that poisonous? It's day 3, so I'm heading to my 3rd weird tide pool. King's Tide is just a few days away, so I'm super excited to see it. I packed my bags to say goodbye to the kids for the 3rd day in a row. I can tell they really miss me. While the kids explore Mushroom Kingdom, I'm actually going to a beach called Mushroom Beach, and it's right behind that. So I just have to find a way around this wall right here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, and then I get to Mushroom Beach. Usually on high tide I'd be underwater right now, so that's uncomfortable to think about. The Mushroom Beach tide pool was not easy to get to. I have no idea where I'm going. Oh my god, how do people do this? Honestly, it felt unsafe and was kind of scary. I wouldn't recommend going here. Luckily, this stuff is easy for me and I had no problem getting there. I usually don't let walls tell me what to do, but this one has a good point. That right there is my only foot support, and I'm a little terrified to do that. I'm scared of heights if I fall. It's a 15-foot drop into about 2 feet of water. I don't think I can do it. I'm like way too terrified. I don't think I can do it. I can't do this. I did it! I'm shaking right now. That was terrifying. The landscape here is insane. It kind of feels like you're on another planet. There are no actual mushrooms, but the rocks have eroded so much that they look just like mushrooms. The tide pools here were sort of a bust though. Nothing too exciting. I did find some crabs hiding in the walls. I found you, dude. All these little mushrooms are really cool, but wouldn't it be cool if there was like a giant mushroom? It took me 45 minutes to get here. I got lost. I ended up at a nude beach over there. Hello. I'm not looking for those kind of mushrooms. Get it? Because mushrooms look kind of like, you know, like a man's
like a man's penis.
My next weird tide pool is inside this gift shop. The gift shop is located in La Jolla, California, and I gotta say, I love La Jolla. They got this bubble guy and this huge tumbleweed. I had no idea those things were real. And of course, they have seals. Look how they move. They're so cute. All the beaches were closed off for the seals except for this one beach.
Remember that video online where that seal attacked all those people? I'm at that beach. You can see behind me a bunch of seals surfing. I should probably leave.
Anyways, back to the gift shop. As soon as I walked inside, I saw this creepy entrance that leads to the cave below. The gift shop itself is filled with random toys and also memorabilia of the actual cave. I highly doubt this shark is down there. Right? It costs $10 to go down, and it's around 150 steps to get to the bottom. It's a very narrow cave, and lots of people were slipping on the steps.
Careful.
Once you get to the bottom, there is a huge opening in the wall where you can see out into the ocean. It was actually pretty cool. Unfortunately, they don't let you down into the tide pools for safety reasons. But it's probably for the best, because I think I saw, it's this shark, the postcard was right, the postcard tried to warn us, shark's out there.
So the cave was cool. Was it worth $10? Probably not. But do you know what is worth $10? This.
I'm pretty sure I can use this later. It's day 4, only 2 days till King's Tide. I said goodbye to the kids and headed to my next tide pool, which is near a hidden cave behind Dana Point Harbor. To get to the cave, just go past the pirate ship until you find the old man who is feeding or maybe being attacked by pigeons. I'm not sure which one it is. From there, you'll see a rusty cage leading you towards the open ocean.
What is this cage for? Is this cage to like keep people out or keep sharks from going up the stairs?
Now just follow the cliffside.
If I go around that whole cliff, apparently about a mile that way, there's a secret cave.
I need to get to the cave and back within a few hours or the tide will come in and I'll be swimming home. It took me about 45 minutes to get there, but if I wasn't setting up my camera to take all these shots of me walking, it probably would have been much faster. You'll know you're almost there because you'll be stepping on thousands of dead clams rotting in the sun.
I keep stepping on all these dead clams, and I can hear the crunch under my shoes. It smells like dead clams. Oh,
The entrance to the cave is so small that at first I couldn't even see it.
barely made it. No, this isn't the caves. Oh no. I thought for a second that I didn't make it to the caves in time, but guess what? I did. It's through that little slit right there.
The opening to the cave is really small, but once you dunk your shoe underwater, the cave really opens up inside.
Oh well, my shoe's soaking wet.
The cave is called Pirate's Cave. I bet William named it. It was cool, but I had to leave because I noticed something very concerning at the tide pools.
Hey, get out of here, birds. Shoo, get out of here. There is a fish right down here, and it's trapped. And all these birds over here are waiting for me to leave so they can eat this fish, and I'm not gonna let it happen. Not today, birds.
This was my moment. After 4 days of carrying this weird hermit crab purse and this net I bought from PetSmart, it was time to rescue this fish.
Everybody say hello to Earl.
Hello. That's a fish.
I don't know what kind of fish this is, but he looks pretty cool.
At first, Earl was not happy with me, but luckily I had something that would cheer him right up.
Two best buds.
After that, we became best friends. We went on a walk around the tide pool. I told him all about my YouTube channel, and he promised to subscribe once I let him go. After spending a beautiful afternoon with my new friend, it was time to say goodbye.
All right, everyone say bye to Earl. See you
Bye,
later.
Earl. That's a fish.
Bye, Earl. Suck it, birds.
My next weird tide pool is a secret pool that's filled by the tides every single day. It's a hidden gem to the locals of Laguna Beach, California. So don't tell anyone or these thugs will beat me up. You need to walk down an area called 1,000 Steps Beach to get there. There's actually only 250 steps and it's pretty easy walking down, but it is rough walking back up. The tide pool is through a cave that is completely blocked during high tide. The only way into that cave is during
Low tide.
I had to walk up and down those steps at 7 a.m. this morning to get that shot. My legs hurt. I think this goes without saying, but if you visit here, you need to leave before the tide turns around. As you're about to see, it can get dangerous even in low tide. First, you'll need to go through the cave that is actually a tide pool within itself. It has crabs, fish, and other sea creatures inside. It's actually really cool to spend some time here. On the other side of the cave, you'll find a rocky area with even more tide pools. This green thing disguised itself as a rock after I touched it. Is that poisonous? There's the secret pool! I'm so close. I made my way through the tides and rocky cliffs. When I got to the edge of the cliff, I couldn't jump. King's Tide had destroyed the depth of the sand, which made jumping much higher and very dangerous.
All right, guys, I have some bad news. There's no way I can get to that pool. I would have to jump down like 10 feet onto some rocks, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to break my legs. There's also nobody on the beach except for one guy who looks like he might be dead, and his ankle is wrapped up, probably because he jumped. I was gonna go swimming in the pool. I haven't put on a swimsuit. Yeah, I don't know, maybe another time. I don't even know if I'm gonna keep this in the video. This is kind of lame.
For some reason, not reaching that pool really bummed me out. It sounds silly, but I felt like I broke a promise to myself or something. I sat on the cliff for a bit and just thought about everything. Tomorrow is King's Tide, and instead of going to a weird or dangerous tide pool, I decided to spend that time with my kids at my all-time favorite spot, Salt Creek Beach. And King's Tide there was insane. The water level dropped almost 10 feet. There was so much to see and explore. It was really cool being able to share that experience with my kids. Instead of me poking at all the sea life and stressing out the ecosystem, I thought it was better to show the kids how fragile the tide pools can be. I wanted to show them how we can learn and appreciate everything in the tide pools without having to destroy it. It honestly ended up being a perfect day with the kids and a very memorable King's Tide. And so what if I didn't make it to Thousand Steps Pool? It's just a stupid tide pool anyways.
Guys, I know what I said, blah, 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 but guess what? I made it to the secret pool.
I checked back 2 weeks later and the sand leveled out. This place is amazing. There are caves, this old fireplace, there's also this uncomfortable bridge.
I hate this. Oh my gosh.
And I even saw another sea slug hanging in the pool. Now there's only one thing left to do.
It's so cold. Subscribe!